welcome back to Keep On Creating. I'm Mike and today is a long one, so let's jump right in. And if you want to help support the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button because it helps with the YouTube algorithm overlords, something like that, I don't know. But if you can hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, it does help the channel out. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating from scratch the central part of the graphic, just with squares and rectangles. A really cool graphic. It is a bit of a long one, but it is a long process and a cool process, and you're going to end up with something awesome. So without all the gibble gabble, let's jump into this tutorial on Affinity Designer. Let's do this. Are you ready? Because I don't know if I am. This is going to be a big one. So first of all, up to Affinity Designer, across to File, click on that, click on New, and get these new details up here. I've got 500 by 500 and 300. So we're going to go Create and get this artboard going. Now make sure you've got your rulers up. Your top ones up here and your side ones over here. So those are your top and your sides. If you can't find them, just go up to View, and where are they? There we go. So show rulers, Command R. So you just push that and you can see you can take them off and put them on. We want them on for this episode. So I have actually gone and drawn out this little graphic over here. It's a little simple one over there, but we're going to obviously go and take it out quite a bit further. So let's get our text up first. I'm going to say T to get text up. FADE, that's the one we're going to be using today. Now we are going to be creating completely our own font. I just want to remind us what we're actually creating so we can kind of get a visual aid of what we're actually doing. Alright, so fade is what we're going to be doing, and I'm just, should I lock that? Yeah, I'm going to lock that. So I'm just going to click on this little padlock over here. I'm on my layers palette and click on that little padlock, and now I cannot click. Can't click on it. So get your pen tool. You're going to draw some lines. P. Get your pen tool. This tool right over here, and I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to click somewhere over here. Now can we see our degree of our line? If I go into transform, I'm going to hit, just deselect that, select it again. There we go. So at this point it says 10.9 degrees. I'm going to create that at a good 15, so I'm going to type in 15 degrees here. Okay, that gives us a good, it's a good angle to work with. At this moment, this line is very thin, so I'm going to go to stroke and I'm going to up this to a 1 point. So you can see it's 1 point there now. And I'm going to click on this little node over here. So I've gone A, I've selected this little tool over here. I'm going to select this little part of the node over here, so you can see it goes blue, and I'm just going to hold shift and I'm going to drag it quite long. So as you can see, it's actually gone very long. It's going to reposition it somewhere in the middle of the page, which I think is right there. It's snapping to it. And I'm going to click on that. I'm going to hold down Alt and Shift, click and drag down to like all the way down here. So somewhere around about here. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a big marquee over those, and I've just selected this tool over here, this move tool. So click and drag over those two items. I'm going to copy them, so Command C. I'm going to now deselect and go Command V. And to deselect, I've just selected off the page. I've clicked over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually flip those over. So up here it says flip horizontal, and I've flipped them. So I've got parallel lines running this way, and I've got parallel lines running in the opposite direction. Now I'm just wondering whether I should lock them. I think I'm going to lock them for now, or group them at least. So these are our curves over here. I am going to select all of them. So I've selected the top one, hold shift, click on that one. I'm going to go Command G. So that's grouping them. So you see I've made a group of them over there. I'm actually not going to lock them because I don't know if we'll actually be able to snap to them. So I'm not quite sure at this point. Can I drag a ruler to the middle? And yeah, so I'm just going to drag a ruler right to the center of all of this. It's not showing up. I'm going to go up here, Command and semicolon, and it brings up my lines to actually view my lines. So you want to show your rulers and you want to show your guides. This is it here. Command semicolon, and that shows your lines. It shows your lines. So let's draw a rectangle. I'm going to go over here, get my rectangle tool, or push M. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to go somewhere around about here. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag somewhere around about there. That's cool. I'm going to go to transform And I am first of all going to take this stroke off. So I'm taking that stroke off and make my fill. You can see it's kind of gray at this point. I don't know if it's actually, it must be. Let's just make it a little bit darker. Okay, so we can actually see what we're doing. And the width of this is 6.4. I'm going to round this to, should we say 8? I'm going to put it at 8. And then we kind of know what width of the letters we actually working at. So consistently we're working with 8. I'm actually going to go hold down Alt, click and drag a copy of this off to the side. So if we ever need to refer to what size we're actually looking at, we know what it is later on, just in case. Right. So we've got our 2 lines here, our column widths, and I'm going to select this one over here, hold down Alt, Shift again. Alt creates the copy, Shift keeps it perfectly in line. So let's just create it somewhere around about here-ish, I guess. This is created there. I'm actually going to hold down Shift and select this one over here. So I've got both of those selected, and I'm going to go Command G to make a group. So you can see if I go back to my layers, it's created a group over there. I'm just going to bring this window down a bit because we're going to make lots and lots of layers. So this is the group we've just created here. So if I select it, it selects those 2. If I select this one, it selects the one over there. We want this one over here. So now I've hold down Alt and Shift, click and drag. Okay, it creates a duplicate of those 2. And if we're lucky enough, it should give us a dimension in between those, but it doesn't seem to be at this point. It doesn't seem to be. Okay. So with those 2 selected, so I'm going to select these 2 groups, hold on Alt and Shift, click and drag, and I'm going to pop them somewhere around about here. Now, what we do want to do ideally is create the same distance between all of these, okay? So normally if we hold down Shift and we drag, it gives us like an indication. You see how it popped up with 6.1 there. I don't know if it's going to do it over here. It says 8 over there. So ideally, I think I would like 8 because the column width is 8. And I don't actually know why I can't get it to kind of snap to it. It snaps to 7.1. If I do it here, it doesn't snap. So I don't know why it does it sometimes and why it does it sometimes and why it doesn't do it other times. So if you know, let me know in the comments below, because I don't know why it turns on and why it turns off. So the only other way around that is to just draw a block, go the old-fashioned way. Hit M, draw a square, make this square basically 8 mils. So I'm going to go 8 by 8. Okay, so that's just an 8 mil square over there. I'm going to snap it to that one, snap it to that one. Now I know I'm 8. Then that one we knew was 8. And in here, just drag this out a little bit. So now we've got a space of 8, a space of 8, a space of 8, and we've basically got a letter F-A-D-E. Okay, it just looks like a barcode at the moment. Probably pretty inappropriate thing to say right now, but it's a barcode. So now if we basically, again, I need to create a center point for this. So I'm not too sure what the distance is between these, so just go M, going to go to this. You can see how nicely it highlights that little edge there. Click and drag, and I'm going to drag all the way down to there. I'm just going to expand out so you can see, and this will be my halfway point here. So if you wanted to see what the height of this is, 128.4, I can just divide that by 2, so I can go divide by 2 and hit enter, and that would be my center point right there, right at this point here. Now it's obviously the inside. This is my center point here, not the outside bit, it's the inside bit. So if we select, now to select this top one here, I'm going to actually have to go to my layers, open that group up, get these swatches, open this group up here, and select that top line. So this is actually my top, I'm going to say top one. So I know for future I'll probably end up renaming these as we go. So I'm going to select this one, top one, hold on Alt and Shift, click and drag, and just get it to about that halfway point right there-ish. Right there-ish. I'm just going to zoom in there. Where's that top one? It's this one here. This is now my middle one. Told you we're going to be renaming these. Middle. And that's my middle one there. And just drag that down. There we go. Perfect. Right. Now we've got a middle line there. I'm going to delete this one. And let's zoom in here. Okay. So with one, I can just drag this one over here. With this selected, I'm going to Alt, Shift, and drag. Okay. And let's just rotate this 90 degrees. So if I just go my pointer tool, which is this one here, move tool, hover over the corner and just hold Shift 90 degrees. That's what I want to do there. And I'm just going to bring it here and just tuck it in from the side so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just dragging that edge in. Now what I'd like to do is I would either like to skew this. Over here you can see it goes in the up down arrow, go up there, and I want this to be 15 degrees. So you can see over here it says S. I'm not sure what the S stands for, but go 15, and that will be 15 degrees. So we basically got our F column shooting off to the side, which is exactly what we want to do. So that wasn't actually that difficult. so now I've got my horizontal one going that way, and I am going to bring it in a little bit. So I'm just going to drag it in so you can see where I'm dragging just that edge over there. And I'm just going to snap it right to this edge over here. Cool beans. Okay, now what I need to do is, with this selected, I'm going to hold down Alt and Shift again and click and drag all the way up somewhere up here. Okay. And what I'm going to actually do, it's going to be a bit weird. I'm going to flip this one around. So I'm going to have this selected, and I'm going to go here to this one here. I'm going to go a flip vertical. So it's actually going to slope inwards. And that's exactly what I'm looking to do. So however high that goes, I wonder how high we should go with this. I'm actually going to put it at the top of this one over here for now. So just at the top, just as it peeks out over there. I think that'll be okay for now. And with an F, we obviously don't need this edge over on this side here. So that left edge, that right edge, we actually don't need that right edge there. So I'm going to go to my layers. I'm going to show my layers again and go into here and delete that right edge. So I've got my right edge there, just delete it. Now we've got an F. We've got an F. Okay, so there is our F for now. So moving on from this, we are going to need our A. So the A is going to be exactly the same. I'm going to hold down Alt and Shift, click and drag. Okay, I'm keeping it exactly the same height over there. I'm going to hold down Alt and Shift to click on this middle section and click and drag to here. Okay, and I actually want this to go up on the inside of this. I'm going to bring this up to this section here so you can see how it's nicely snapping in there. If yours isn't snapping, make sure your snapping tools are switched on up here. You can see where I'm hovering over with my mouse, so just make sure it's nicely snapping over there. I'm going to bring that down just to there so it's covering that little black bit. So inside here, I'm following that center line. Outside, I'm just making it absolutely straight. Okay, for now. That may change. It may change. Over here, I'm a little bit out. I'm just going to bring that in and snap it to there. If you're struggling to see that you can't, not aligning properly, obviously you can just drag in your rulers if you want. But I think we've got so much going on here anyway that we don't need more more fuss. Okay, so the top of this one over here, just click and drag this guy over here, holding Alt and Shift. You guessed it. And I'm going to bring this in and bring it up. Okay, just so it comes to the top of that. Perfect. F-A-D-E. F-A-D-E. Yep. And I'm going to do it again over here. Hold Alt and Shift. Okay, bring it in. Make sure it snaps just there. Drag it all the way up. Just cover the top of that line. Let's just bring those all the way up here. Okay. I'm going to have to ungroup these pretty soon. And now, how are we going to do this? So I've drawn it so that the bottom of the D is going down and the top is going up, the bottom of the D is going down. So what I need to do is I can just bring one of these over in actual fact because that's facing down. So I could hold Alt and Shift, or I could hold down Alt, don't have to hold down Shift, and I can click and drag this down here. Did I move that? I think I did. Just bring it back in. Cool. Okay. And down here, I'm just going to snap it in. What we do want to do though, this is where we have to decide that this height we're happy with how high this is going out of here. So I'm thinking that there, it's got a line to that line there. So I'm totally wrong there. So that's got to go up here. That's got to go up here. I just want everything to be symmetric. That's what I'm looking for. So you can see how there's a line along here. So that lines to that one over there. That's what I'm actually looking for. I got a bit lost. Okay. So with these two selected over here, I'm actually going to ungroup them now. So Command Shift G, and they're ungrouped. And I'm just going to bring this one down a bit here. And I don't actually need that on the E. That is the E here. So I can delete this right-hand column. So I can delete that. I'm going to bring this one down. Cool beans. Okay. So with the height of this one over here, this got to basically represent exactly what's going down at the bottom. So what we have to do basically is the same way we've done this side over here. these two sections over here. So I'm just going to ungroup them. So with the ones that are still grouped, which is this guy over here, I'm going to ungroup this one. So Command Shift G. Okay, so ungroup them, and I'm going to drag them up to this intersecting line over here. All those little bits, just dragging them up to that line, except for the D and the E. What I'm basically looking for is this, where this intersects there, I'm going to drop a ruler. Okay, likewise how we did on this side over here, there's that ruler going across, and that dictates where the line should go on this side over here. So with that said, this should not be scaled smaller. This should be dragged up to about there. Likewise for this line here, which should be right, because that should be dragged and snap right there, which aligns to there. Oh, that worked out really well. Whew. Whew. Okay, so I'm just going to drag these up to make them in there, to fit them in there, drag that up to fit that in there, and drag that up to fit that in there. Now obviously we need the E part of it, so I'm going to click this one, hold down Alt, click and drag, and just snap it in there. So there's the E in there, and I'm just going to butt it up against there so it's all the same size. So you can see how we get the F, the A, the D, and the E. Right, so I'm going to just drag this up here. Okay, so the next little bit is we need to start adding little bits onto this, and I need to just correct this a little bit over here. I'm just going to hold down Shift and drag that up. I did not see that one, sorry. Okay, got a little bit ahead of myself. Okay, what I'd like to do is, first of all, let's create some little divots in these little joins over here. So to create that, get our move tool, select over this, all of them over there. So you get them all selected, and you can see currently they all say rectangle, 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 and a group, and then rectangle. So I'm going to hit Command Enter, and all of them change to curves except for this group over here. So we're going to select that group. Which one is that one? That's just that line. So I'm going to ungroup that, Command Shift G. And that says rectangle, Command Enter, and now it's a curve. So now everything is a curve. So basically what I can do now, if I hit A, which is this direct selection tool or node tool, I can now select the nodes and manipulate them how I want. So I can drag them up, down, sideways, just those corners. I'm going to drag this one all the way up to this corner over here, and let's just drag this one down. So I am holding Shift, and I'm going to drag it somewhere like down to about here. I think that's cool. Yeah. That's okay. And likewise for this A over here, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to drag that down so you can see it's keeping in line with everything. So it's keeping in line with this F over here, but I'm going to remember to drag this one up to here. Okay. And for these ones here, I think we need to create like a little bit of a divot in here. So a little bit of like a line like that. So I'm going to basically drag. I'm going to make a copy of this. So I'm going to select this line, go Command C, Command not V yet. I'm going to hit A, and I'm going to drag this all the way up here. And I'm going to drag this one all the way to the edge of that one there. I'm going to decide how. Should kind of follow the top one. It should be exactly the same as the top one. Now I'm going to go Command V, and you can see now I can drag these ones down here. So I can just drag that one down, this little node back up here, and you can see we've got that little nice divot in there. So FA, yeah, that is cool. And we may put a little bit of a divot on this side over here, but we'll come back to that. So the exact same way we've done this side over here, we could actually probably just duplicate this one and stick it over here. So select this F column over here. I'm just going to delete that. Select this column and this column, hold down Alt, Shift, click and drag, and just snap it to it. And then let's just extend this node down to here and extend this node down to here. And then just extend that node back up there. So you can see we're following those guides. And I'm just going to carry on going ahead in here. And you can see that needs to actually come down. These two nodes, just hold Shift, click and drag them. Okay. So you can see I'm just going to go through and I'm going to add all these little sections to it. So I'm going to do a little divot on this side over here. So I'm going to go select this column over here, Command C, drag it down. Okay, Command V. I'm going to actually drag it all the way down to here. Command V, drag this one all the way up to here. Okay, and we're going to bring this one to around about there to align it. Make a little divot like that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Same as this one here. Going to drag this one up, drag this one down. Likewise for this side, drag this one up, drag this one down. And the E, I'm going to do the exact same. Select this one, drag this one down, copy it, paste it. I'm going to have to drag it back up. You want a little divot in here. Okay, I'm just going to align that to the top over there. Drag this one down. Okay, and drag this one up, drag this one up. So we get that little join in there. Okay, that's good. That's looking good. Okay, so with this D, I am going to select all 4 of the elements, so all 4 of the sides, and I'm going to create this as one object. So I'm going to hit add, so you can see all the little curves going all over there. So the 4 different sides, I'm going to click that, and that is now my D. Okay. So with the D, I want to create like a little bit of a chop to it. So I'm going to hit P, and I'm going to hold down my command key. I'm going to line it to somewhere around, let's go here, and click here. And I'm going to click this little node over here, select that node, and delete it. Yeah, that's the one. And I'm going to do the exact same thing down at the bottom. So I'm going to hold command, click over here, click somewhere about here. So I'm trying to follow that line, click over here, and delete. So you can see I've created more of a D shape than that harsh E shape. That's good. Okay, it's starting to look good. I am going to break this some more. Let's just do a little bit of tidying up quick. So I'm just going to tidy this line up over here. I am going to select this line over here. So you're going to have to bear with me on this one. I'm going to go into this group. Okay, I need to select this line over here, which is, I think it was the top one over here. I'm going to go Command C, Command V, and I'm going to move this. I need to move this line somewhere like around about there, but I need to know how much I'm moving it by. So if I click and drag this one up. Okay, how much am I moving that by? Okay, I'm going to move this about minus, say -5. Yeah, so about -5. I'm going to do the exact same for this bottom one over here, but I'm going to go +5. So I'm going to select the bottom one. I'm going to go back to my layers, which is over here. Select that bottom one. Command C, Command V. And I'm going to go back to transform, which is this guy over here. And I'm going to click over here and I'm going to go +5. And you can see now it's dropped down by 5. Is that what I'm looking to do? I think it's what I'm looking to do. Okay, we'll come sort it out. We just remember, everybody remember 5. At the top over here, I want to basically do a cut here. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to go Command C to copy it, drag them up to the top of the line that we've just created. Following it, Command V to put our other line back, drag these little points here down. Okay, so we're going to drag them down so there's a gap in the middle. So you can just see how I'm selecting those different nodes there. I'm going to do the exact same with this A side over here. So I'm going to copy this, hit A, drag those nodes up, drag that node up, Command V, put in that shape that we already had, put it over here, and put it over here. Likewise for this side here, Command C, drag those nodes up. So node, you can see how everything's nicely snapping. Drag that down to here and drag that down to here. And that's looking pretty good. Let's concentrate down on this DE part over here. So another way we could do this, also because we've made this a kind of a union, or we've added all those 4 shapes together, we could just go in here with our pen tool. So I've selected our pen tool, which is this tool over here. And we could just go click, hold shift, click, and you can see how it's highlighting on those lines we've drawn. Hold shift, click, and just click over there. So I'm just creating that shape basically in the middle there. It's going to make this a black fill. Okay, make sure it's on the top of these layers, so you can see the black is above the gray. I'm going to select it. I'm just going to go Command C to copy it, select this part of the E and go minus or subtract. Click on that, select your D, go Command V, select your D again and go subtract, and you can see it just punches through those perfectly. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so that's starting to look pretty good. Let's create some little end bits for these sections here to add even more style to this. I'm just going to draw, or we can just select this, hold on Alt and Shift, click and drag, and just make this 8 by 8. Okay, 8 by 8. 8 by 8. In actual fact, what I'm going to do is I am going to make this more rectangle shape. So I'm going to actually make it about half the size. So I'm going to actually go 8 by 4. Okay, so you can see it's 8 by 4, it's rectangle. And let's go Command Enter. Remember to take that shape from a rectangle to a curve. So it was a rectangle and now it's a curve. So Command Enter. And I'm gonna basically just take that shape and just tuck it in somewhere around about there. I think that's okay. So while it's in this shape or this form as it is over here, I'm going to hold down Alt and click and drag, and I'm going to flip it. So we've got that point over there. Alt and drag, Alt, Shift and drag, and flip it this way. Okay, so we've got those ones. Alt and drag, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. So we can just go over a corner, hold Shift and snap it to 90. So we've got them there. And those are the ones we're going to be using. I'm going to make a copy of these just in case we need to come back to them. Hold on Alt and Shift, and I'm going to rotate this 15 degrees. So go to your Transform tab, and can we skew it? Go 15? No, we want to rotate this 15, I think. So we're going to go 15 degrees like that. I'm thinking this one here we may need to skew, but these are little elements that I'm looking for right now. So I'm just going to drag this little package with us over here. And I think I'm going to be looking for on the outside. Let's go to the outside. So I'm going to select this one and I'm going to pop this somewhere around about here. There. So where this point is over here, I'm going to make sure that that goes to our line over there. I'm going to go Command Y, and you can actually see we're going to this wireframe mode. So I can click and drag and make sure that everything is perfectly in line. Then we can take this. I'm going to take these two corners over here, hold down Shift, take those two little nodes, click and drag, snap them to that one, and that's perfect. Yeah, so Command Y just gives you a wireframe so you can see exactly what you're doing there, which is perfect. That's what I'm looking to do. Now we need one facing the other direction, so that's this guy over here. Click and drag him. I'm going to drag him right to go to this little edge over there, drag him right to that corner. Go into your wireframe mode, let's drop him down. Okay, just get them perfectly in there, as perfect as you can. Okay, so those lines align. Click the graphic, hit A. I'm going to select this little node over here, this node over here, click and drag them, snap it to there. Command Y, and that's what we're looking for. Yes, yes, okay. I'm going to click and drag both these again. Hold down Alt, going to do a set here, and I'm going to do a set over here. And let's just get them all nicely aligned. So go to your wireframe, Command Y, get that little node over there, and just try to snap it to there. Perfect. Let's go over here, take from this corner, and zoom right in. Just take it there. It should actually snap, but I don't know how to snap it, to be honest with this one. Okay, and then this, likewise for this guy here, we're going to do exactly the same. Command Y, get to wireframe mode, take that to that little edge right there. It's perfect. Likewise for this one here. Click and drag and just try to get it to snap over there. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking good. It's there. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to create the same for the bottom section. I'm going to face these ones down towards my left. So I'm actually going to select this node over here, or that graphic over there, hold Shift, that graphic here, and I'm going to need this one here too. Hold on Alt and Shift and click and drag, and just pop them all. And if I get one right, so we're just going to get to my wireframe again, and pop them there. Come out of that, they all should be right. So that's cool. So they're all facing that way. Okay, let's concentrate on the D and the E. So with the D and the E, I'm gonna grab all of those, hold on Alt, just drag them up here. And let's use, which one should we use? I'm thinking, let's go outwards rather than inwards, because everything seems to be facing outwards. So just click and drag that up to where we're happy with it. I'm going to drag it right to there. Don't need to do too much with this. Go wireframe, just make sure that you get that little node right to the end of that little bit there. Obviously you can select this, get your node up and drag it in, and it should just snap to it anyway. Okay, that's good, that's good. And we're going to do the same for the bottom section over here. The bottom section would be this one over here. Okay, just going to go in here, wireframe again, click your graphic, just get it just to that point there so we don't get that little piece sticking out. Okay, get your node, select your graphic, get your node, just drag it up, drag it back in, snap it there. Then we know we're not going to get a little funny little divot or anything over there. That's perfect. And then our E, which way do we want to E? I think our E's got to face down like the top piece. Okay, let's just drag this little graphic down here. So Alt and Shift, click and drag, and we're going to pop him down here, somewhere right there. Okay, go in with your wireframe again, make sure it's perfectly connected, just drag it down or up and snap it in. And we've got that perfect little snap there. Yeah, that's looking cool. And let's concentrate on the D and the E. So I'm going to go back to our little graphics over here and just select over them, hold down Alt, click and drag. And what we're going to do with these, because these are going to go in the opposite direction, I'm just going to drag them over here. Okay, let's just delete a few things. So delete that one. I'm going to select them and I'm going to bring up our transform tool, which is this one over here. And I'm going to go where this R and this S is. We used an angle of 15 degrees. So I'm going to do a 15 and hit tab and hit 15. So the R and the S are going to be 15 by 15. So you can see it kind of creates a skew effect with this. Don't select the nodes like I just did and mess everything up. Now, what we have to decide is which way these are going to point. I'm thinking because this is all quite cut up over here, we may need to angle the top ones in the same direction. So I'm going to hold down Alt. I'm just going to drag this up to here, just get a feeling. Hold down Alt, drag it over here. Okay, and then this one we will drag this one over here. Hold down Alt, click and drag, just to get an idea. Would that work? Yeah, that's the way it's going to have to be. It's going to have to go that way. I'm not going to do anything with the bottom of this D over here because it'll start looking a bit weird, I think. Will it? Okay, we could use it. Okay, so we'll use those elements there. I'm just going to drag those, delete them, select them and delete them, and just zoom in here and tidy this up. So what we're going to do is change your wireframe, Command Y, and you get your wireframe up. Just drag this line over here, and I'm going to pop it in line. You can see that's a little bit off in actual fact. So let's bring this angle down a little bit. You can see what I'm dragging there. So it's just snapping to that angle. So you snap to there. And I'm going to take this, select right over here. I'm going to drag that. And I want that to be perfectly just over there and just on the top of that. Okay, so somewhere around there. Command Y. And you can see it's just off over there. I do wish these things would snap. I'm sure there's a way to do it. If you know, again, leave a comment below. I'd love to know what snapping thing I'm missing here. And just drag that down. Likewise for this, we could bring it down a little bit. Make sure that line lines up. What we can actually do is just to delete this one over here and use this one that we've perfectly skewed already. And just drag it in here. Go into your wireframe. And just snap it to there and bring it down. So just on that line. That's perfect. Now if we did want to make sure that that line is all covered, we can select this node over here. Okay, so just get your direct selection tool, your node tool, which is this one over here. Click that little node over there, drag it to that edge, and you know you're going to have that perfectly straight line. So if you want to do the same with this side, click that node, drag it to this side here, and you know you're going to get that really nice straight line there. So likewise for this one, I think we're going to have to do the same. It's just a little bit off there. Just go into wireframe again. Okay, get your two little arrows like that. Just drag it. I'm going to drag it down, and then I'm going to drag it back so we can get that perfect angle. Drag this side here, snap it to that line. Whoops, I over dragged it. And just drag it up a little bit. Cool. Get that node. Drag it to this corner over here. Need to just drag that out to there, so it's okay, just to make sure that's covered over there. So you can see how I just went and I just touched that little bit, so it was perfect. We don't have to worry about it. And I seem to be making more of a mess. Just drag it over there, that's cool. And this node over here again, just gonna snap it right there. Okay, now that we've done that one, select this one, delete it, select this one, Alt drag, just pop it over here somewhere, get your wireframe up, and just drag it right to that corner. What are we doing at the top? That's good, that's good. Select that node, snap it to it, and I'm gonna just actually select this little node, drag it down a little bit. I don't know, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Okay, I think what I want to do is all these shapes over here, what we should actually do is make a copy of it, so if we have to come back we can still manipulate things and change things. But what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and make the bold move. I'm just going to select all the elements of my E. So I'm going to get my selection tool, which is my move tool, select all the elements of my E, make sure I've got everything, and I'm going to click add. Then I'm going to label that E. Okay, D I think we've almost already done, except we haven't selected the bottom section. Select all the parts of the D. Okay, add them all together, and let's call that D, and do the same for the A and the F. So select all of that, let's label that A, and select all of these, and you see we need to put that little hook there and the little hook there, and I'm going to select this one over here. Okay, good thing we didn't delete any of those, because we're going to need them, I wonder if we can just drag that back. Would that look weird? No, okay. I'm going to select this one over here, hold down Alt, okay, and drag it into just there. Okay, make sure it snaps to the edge, transform. Knew there would be something to do afterwards. I knew it. Okay, let's select both of those graphics. I'm selecting this bit and the rest of my F. I'm just zooming out here, add them together. Okay, so now we've got a E, we've got a D, we've got an A, and we've got an F, which we have to label. Okay, F, not D. So F, just put them in order. F, A, D, E. So F, A, D, E. And all those little bits there, those are little sections on the side over there, which is fine. Now with our rulers, now I want this top one. I'm going to make a copy of that. So I'm going to Command C, and I'm going to go Command V. Yep, and I want it actually out, just like it is. Select this bottom one. So I don't know which the bottom one is. It's not that one. It's this one here. Command C, Command V, and drag it out. Okay, and I'm going to label this base. B-A-S-E. Okay. And I'm going to hide all the rest of those. I'm going to go select this little node over here, click and drag, and it should more or less stay where I want it. So click and drag to hit this middle point over here. You should feel almost like a snap. And I'm going to do the same with this one over here. Click this side over here and drag it to the center point there. Yeah. And just bring it in a little bit so it's not too far out. Hold shift while doing it to keep it on that perfect line. A little bit out there, and same here, a little bit out there. Okay, and once you've got those two sorted, select your line tool, hit P to get your pen tool up, hold down Command and click this little node right here. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to click exactly 90 degrees up, well not 90 degrees but straight up, click over there. I'm going to click somewhere down here, here, back here, and then close it off over there. So something like that. And then likewise for this one, you're going to get your pen tool, hold down your Command key, click over here, and click all the way down here, somewhere back here, 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 and close it off. So you've got that little starburst there. Yes. Okay, so with those two selected, let's just flip the colors around. So go to your swatches, and they're going to flip around. Yeah, that's cool. So you can see how everything is kind of going in a nice line. That's what we're looking for, which is really nice. What I would actually like to do is take these nodes over here, hold down shift, click and drag, and just take them to the end of that D. Okay, so likewise how this is kind of closer to the A, I want this closer to the D section over here. So I'm just bringing it a little bit in. You want to see that little node there is just on that section of the guide that we've got. So that's what I'm looking for there. Cool. Okay, and we're about ready to add some color in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a halftone effect to this. So I'll leave a link at the top or below, and you can see how we created the halftones in one of those episodes for Affinity Designer. First thing I want to do before I drop in my halftones is just select all the letters. Okay, and I'm going to add them all together. So I'm going to click on this add button. So we've just got a big fade text over here. Okay, so there it is there. And just delete all the rest of this other stuff that we don't need. So I don't need any of those. Just select them all, delete them. The fade text, let's delete that for now. So we're just left with our base graphic over here. I'm going to leave this group of lines just in case you never know. That's one I will keep. I need to now, let's make this fade text what color we should go with. Let's go for a bright green this time. So go for a bright green. I'm just going to paste in our halftones that we've got. Probably scale them down ever so slightly, somewhere around there. Okay, these are going to be a dark green, so I'm going to make them a darker green, somewhere around there. That's cool. Now we need to make a duplicate of this fade text over here. So you can either go copy, paste, or you can just drag it to this little icon over here to make a duplicate of that layer. So what we need to do is select a halftone, select one of these layers. So select that one, hold down Command, select this layer over here, and click on this intersect button, and you should just end up with the dots, which are no longer dark green. They are now dark green. And I'm going to make this color over here, this black, into a dark green, and this one here into this bright green. Cool beans. Let's just drag a very big square rectangle. So hit M or select this little graphic over here and just drag a very big square over there. Make this black and bring it all the way down to the bottom. Make it black. Yeah, cool. Now if you wanted to create a little bit of a highlight in this, so we are going to be using white, because I'm going to stick white up here and white down here, because we've got to get in some more text. So hit T first of all, and let's just type in some text. So I'm going to go do not, and select a font. I think just go antenna or something nice and strong. Where is it? Antenna. There we go. Antenna. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Okay. Make this text white. Let's drag it in here so we can actually see it. That's cool. And I'm going to hold down Alt and click and drag and put one over here. So it's do not fade at the top, and just skew that a little bit. I'm going to put it so it goes to right here. And I'm going to do what we did in this last one. I'm just going to bring up our character palettes. So Command T and just adjust this tracking a little bit. I want it to go all the way to the end. So really let your mouse spin out. Okay, cool. Actual fact, I am going to delete this one over here and take this one over here, so I don't have to do that again. And type in keep on creating. I'm going to pop that over here and bring the size in some round about there. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, if you wanted to add little highlights in this, as I was just about to say, because I'm using white over here, I am literally just going to go and get this. There is other ways we could do it, but I'm just going to make this, going to start shutting this down a little bit. And I'm just going to make that white highlight over here. Make it pretty thin. You don't have to make it thick. Okay, just bring it in there. If you wanted to bring it all the way down to the bottom, you could. So something like that. And all the way to the top. Just zooming in, just dragging those little nodes. They are very, very small at this point. Of course you can convert it, so you just Command Enter and drag those nodes just a little bit up, so it just goes in line with the top and the bottom. So drag that down. That's it. So now you can see where I'm going with this. I think that this needs to actually come down to this section over here rather than all the way up there. Okay. And then just hold down, click it, hold down Alt, and don't hold down Shift because you don't want that this time. Click it there and just pick one of the sides where your shadow will be. Obviously I'm picking the outer side. That's looking good. And if I wanted to just highlight the top little sections, I just hold Alt and Shift and click and drag. them up. And just make sure you select the right nodes when you bringing them in. That's it. And you want to keep them all kind of in line. Alt Shift, drag it up. Select those nodes. Didn't get that one. Hold Alt and Shift. That's it. Select the right nodes here. I've been selecting nodes all this time, so you'll know exactly what to do. That one doesn't have one, and this one is on the last one. Alt and Shift, click and drag. I'm only going to drag it to this edge over here. Select those nodes. Bring them in. And there we go. If you wanted to add more key lines around this, you can go ahead and add those key lines. But that about brings it to the end of that one. That just is a, wow, that is a cool striking design. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out of here. Woo!